Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be discussing, should Black Ops 7 drop early? Yes, that's right, Black Ops 7 releasing early, even though we haven't had the beta yet, even though we haven't had all the information about the game yet. We've seen some rumors going around, or people talking about Black Ops 7 dropping early, people discussing whether that's actually something that's possible, something that people are actually saying needs to happen now because of all the Battlefield 6 news. And I kind of want to talk about that today, and talk about like maybe the good and the bad of if Black Ops 7 was to drop early, and should it drop early. But I want to talk about that today. But whilst I do, enjoy the gameplays in the background. 2 nukes for you today, by the way. Not just 1 gameplay, but 2 gameplays for you to watch, sorry. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about, should Black Ops 7 drop early, okay? I've seen this going around the community quite a bit over the last few days. And again, this is some reactionary, a reactionary discussion to Battlefield 6 obviously dropping when it does. I believe it's like October or something. And of course, the Battle Royale mode that has been leaked for Battlefield 6 to be coming a week or 2 after the drop of Battlefield 6. And that's got people saying, well, what's Black Ops 7 going to do? How is Black Ops 7 even going to remotely compete with Battlefield when out of the gate Black Ops 7 hasn't done too great as far as a reaction? You know, I think it's in a 50-50 state. I feel like there's 50% of people who are kind of hyped for it, 50% of people who are not so sure. I think a lot of the reaction to Black Ops 7 has come from this year's game, because obviously we've played Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 6 hasn't done too well this year. It's also just fallen off a cliff and people aren't expecting much better with Black Ops 7. But we haven't even played the game yet, right? That's what I find crazy about this. We haven't even played the game yet, and we've gotten people already deciding should they drop the game early, which I think is absolutely ridiculous to talk about. But anyway, we'll discuss it. So we're saying this, we're talking about Black Ops 7 dropping early. Should it drop early? You guys let me know in the comments. Do you think, before we even discuss anything, do you think Black Ops 7 should drop early? Just because of the Battlefield 6 news, maybe to compete with Battlefield 6. Does Black Ops 7 even need to drop early? Like, let's talk about years past, right, first. Let's talk about the year that Infinite Warfare, right? Remember when that released and, you know, had the trailer that got disliked, was one of the most disliked videos, trailers, you name it, on YouTube in its entire history. I don't think it's the most disliked video now, but it used to be. It was the most disliked video of all time. And then people back there, I can't remember what Battlefield released at that time, but people were like, well, that's it. Battlefield has won. Infinite Warfare's done for. Yes, Infinite Warfare released COD 4. It kind of maybe saved the like sales and pre-orders and that. But I'm pretty sure there was a statistic at the time that showed that Infinite Warfare still outperformed Battlefield at that time, when Battlefield had everything going for it, right? Battlefield had all the hype, all the, you know, love for it. You know, people didn't want to play Infinite Warfare supposedly because of jetpacks and stuff. But what happened? Infinite Warfare still outsold it, still had more concurrent players. It just did better, and it wasn't even remotely a liked game in the COD community. Like, that game was absolutely gone on release sort of thing. I'm pretty sure they didn't even post about DLCs in that game. That's how bad it was. But now we're in a similar situation again, where Black Ops 7 was revealed. You know, we've seen a trailer in that. We haven't, like I said, we haven't even played the beta. Like, that's what I'm surprised that people aren't giving the game a chance. Is that because of everything that's happened with COD over the years? You know, I know people are fed up of the typical topics. Of course, skill-based matchmaking is one that comes up that isn't something that's going to be a problem in Battlefield, for instance. You've got connections and stuff. People have had their gripes with connections in Call of Duty for years now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Like, I can tell you that firsthand. And I'm sure you guys can say that as well. Like, Call of Duty connections just don't seem to be getting better. It seems to be getting worse and worse every year, because they don't seem to be putting all the money that they're generating from, you know, store bundles, etc. They don't seem to be putting that back onto the game to actually make the game great. They seem to be putting it more onto collaborating with all these people, like, I don't know, what have we had? Like WWE superstars and Snoop Dogg, and paying them to have their rights to put them in the game as a store bundle, which obviously makes them money, so that's why they do it. But, you know, it doesn't feel like the money, the profits that have gone for the game have actually been put back onto the game to improve, like, the server infrastructure, etc., and make the games more playable. Like, we always talk about every year, are the servers 60 hertz? Are they 20 hertz? Are they 30 hertz? Like, we don't know most of the time, but most of the time they might start out at 60 hertz and then they get dropped to 20 hertz because the player base drops off, and then they decide, well, we're going to pay less for servers, because what's the point in paying all this money for servers when the game's dropped off already? So there's that. And then, of course, the cheating situation, right? People, I don't think, trust Activision / Treyarch at the moment to deal with the cheating situation that's there in Call of Duty. Like, it is still there, even with all the changes, with all the blogs, all the banned 50 accounts, 1,000 accounts this month, banned 10,000. You can go on Twitch and watch any ranked player right now play Black Ops 6, and they're going to be in a lobby with a cheater, and just like that, there's going to be someone using a Cronus, probably even a video on YouTube right now showing you how to use a Cronus in Black Ops 6 and not get detected. And what's going to be the difference in Black Ops 7? I think a lot of people are already discounting Black Ops 7 and saying that it should release early to even remotely fight with Battlefield 6 because of these reasons, because they don't believe the game is going to be good. I think the honest belief out of most of the community is that the game's not going to be good, regardless of what they say. Like, at the moment, they're doing a lot of changes which seem to be generated by the Battlefield 6 sort of hype train going on. I think Activision has seen that, Treyarch has seen that, and we have seen a lot of things mentioned, like they're talking about removing disbanding lobbies, like something we've asked for years and is now actually being talked about as being removed. Like, we can now have lobbies that continue on. We don't have to research a game. You play a game, you go back to the lobby, you vote a new map, you go back in, you play with the same people over and over again. What that will do to skill-based matchmaking, I have no idea, because obviously that'd be quite interesting. But obviously 2-boxing still being a thing, and people using reverse boosted accounts, you name it, right? It's going to be an interesting one to see what happens with that if we do get no disbanding lobbies in Black Ops 7. But I think a lot of people are jumping the gun a bit. Saying to release the game earlier, I think, is a dangerous situation. And obviously it's to do with I think people want Black Ops 7 to be successful. Like, you and I talking now, we want Black Ops 7 to be good, right? But we just get annoyed that Call of Duty doesn't do the things that are probably so simple to make it such a great game, right? It doesn't stick to its roots. It cares more about store bundles. It cares about generating more profit than anything than actually making a good game anymore. When back in the day, the games were made so great, like the campaign was everything, zombies was everything, multiplayer was built, like it was incredible experience, a social experience too. Like, multiplayer now is not the greatest social experience in the world in Call of Duty. Like, what happened to that? Where has that gone? So things like that, I think people are just fed up with Call of Duty and the things it does wrong. And at the moment, we do seem to be getting a few things going our way, you know, slowly. It's a step towards the right direction, but whether or not they continue to do that, obviously we know Activision does like to offer one thing and then take away the next. I mean, look at back in the past with, like, for instance, when we used to go through the whole craze of loot boxes and stuff like that. We used to get weapons that were for free, and then they put them back in the loot boxes. Stuff like that. They can change on the turn of a dime, just like that, right? They can give us all they want at launch to get us to buy the game, pre-order the game, and, you know, generate those sales, generate the hype for Black Ops 7. Even the beta could do that. The beta could be the most incredible thing in the world, right? And I want to talk about that now as well. Like, the beta, which we're all, you know, we all don't know what the game's going to be like. The game could play really well. We might all enjoy it. The game could be really terrible, and we choose not to pre-order because of that, or choose not to, you know, even install the game and play it. But the beta can be made to look like the best thing though. I mean, I can talk experience from, like, previous betas, like Call of Duty World War II. I'll talk about here. That had a good beta. People enjoyed that. People were demanding the beta came back. I remember it vividly. Like, people wanted the beta to come back, and that was Call of Duty World War II. Now, when we know Call of Duty World War II from what it was at launch, it was a disaster. It fell apart. The head of Sledgehammer literally got removed, and then a new guy took over and then changed the game, and the game got better. But by that point, it was too late, right? And like I said, from the beta, when we played the Call of Duty World War II beta, people enjoyed the game. People wanted to play Call of Duty World War II. As soon as launch came around, it fell apart. The game was a disaster. Obviously, it had a huge issue that meant people couldn't, like, get into the game and stuff for a few days, maybe even a week, maybe even longer, I'm pretty sure, for, like, certain regions and stuff. It was a disaster. So Black Ops 7 hasn't even had its beta yet. We don't know what the game's like, but can we take anything from the beta? I guess not really. But we're talking about the game dropping early, just so that it can compete with Battlefield 6. We're talking about Call of Duty competing with Battlefield 6, right? Regardless of Battlefield 6 being good or not, right? People are going to choose to play things based off of whether they like it or not, right? But to say that Call of Duty needs to drop Black Ops 7 early, I think is insane. And I think would set a dangerous precedent that people are even asking for that in the community, because we don't even know if this game's ready. We don't know if this game's actually working, right? We've not had the beta. Like, I don't understand how we're in a situation where people genuinely believe that we should drop Black Ops 7 early so they can get the sales and get ahead of Battlefield 6. And people think that's sort of like a big up against Battlefield. But what if that goes wrong? What if Black Ops 7 doesn't launch well? What if the servers aren't ready? What if everything's not done correctly? What if something's broken in multiplayer? Obviously, it doesn't really stop them. Like, we've seen Black Ops 6 this year has been completely broken all year long. So maybe people sit there and think, well, Black Ops 6 has been pretty much broken all year long, so how come we can't just drop Black Ops 7 and then fix it as we go along, right? Which seems to be the case for most games at the moment. But if Battlefield 6 launches correctly, no issues, no problems, then how is a broken Black Ops 7 game that released early going to be better than Battlefield 6? How is that going to compete? How is that going to be better? Sure, it might generate more sales for them because it'll come out before Battlefield 6, so people will want to play that first. Obviously, we're in an awful time period with Call of Duty at the moment where it's kind of stale, it's kind of boring. There's not really much going on at the moment. We're all waiting for Black Ops 7 now. Not through hype, but just sheer boredom, I think, at this point, just to see what do they have this year. Is it good? Is it bad? But you guys let me know down below. Do you think Black Ops 7 should drop early? I genuinely believe that we shouldn't do this. This shouldn't even be a topic of discussion at this point. But people are curious. People are saying that this should happen. But you guys let me know down below whether or not Black Ops 7 should drop early. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to Catch You guys in the next video. Goodbye.